We are three curious women on a lifetime mission of self-evolution.
Each of us a mom, entrepreneur, truth seeker, and love teacher.
We come together once a week to offer you ideas to human better,
Welcome to the flow life of Shelley, Eva, and Tann.
where we define love as living open and valuing everything.
On this podcast, you are dialed in and set to love.
Let's go for a ride.
Good morning, everyone. We are here at Set to Love with Shelley, Eva, and Tann.
Hello.
Good morning,
Good
ladies.
morning, good morning.
Yay.
Hello.
And I think a good conversation for this morning would be, with all this craziness, is uncertain times and what we can do with times of uncertainty and to not lose control and go to crazy town.
Mm-hmm.
do you
Yes,
think?
very important topic.
Yeah.
We have, it's been madness out there, hasn't it? It's been so weird, just day to day. And do you remember, Tann, when I was sending you stuff like a month ago and you were saying, like, I don't want to know, this isn't going to be that bad. And I just said, I don't know, something feels different about this. And I was trying to channel your energy. And I was telling Shelley before you got here, if I was trying to not bring it into my vision, my knowledge, because I thought if I don't think about it, then maybe it won't manifest in my reality, you know?
Yeah,
but like, here it is. And then I think, well, how can I stay calm? How do I not just check the news all the time? Because I'm not really a newsy person, but for some reason, this has really grabbed my attention. I'm looking at how people
I think
are
we're all
nuts
forced
out
to
there.
at this point.
Yes.
It's everywhere. Like, and I think for me, when Eva was sending me all the info, I am a kind of I'm very much of a glass half full kind of person, but I'm also a when I get to that bridge, I'll cross it kind of person. So for me, I'm always I'm never trying to not think about something. I'm just like, when there's something to be concerned about, I will. So I think in media, what you're seeing now all over the world is there are different responses. Different cities, people are fighting over toilet paper. And, like you said a few moments ago, taking it from people in the stores. And so I really think that our response to this, like uncertain times, like Shelley said, these are uncertain times. I mean, and it's been uncertain since we first heard about it. We didn't know if it was going to be a big thing. We didn't know who was going to be affected. We didn't know where it came from. We didn't know. So to your point, super uncertain times, but how do we remain either focused or calm? Or how do we go from being not calm to getting calmer? Like, how do we, like, what do you think?
My example, though, of that is I also have stayed calm. I didn't rush to the grocery store. I just figured I had some things at home and was hoping for the best. Yet yesterday, I decided, after hearing a little bit more in the news or whatever, it can't hurt to be a little cautious and get a few things. So my daughter, Brittany, and I went off to Costco, and I'm really happy to say I thought the people at Costco now, I know there was some bad things happening at another Costco, but this Costco in Ventura had everybody in a line outside, wrapped around a couple buildings, and it only took us about 15 minutes, but people were very friendly in line. Nobody was pushing and shoving. And then the reason they did it that way was so that they had small amounts of people going in. So as few would come out, a few would go in, a few would come out. So there were no lines inside the Costco.
Oh, nice.
Really, it was better than just on a regular weekend.
Okay.
And I'm not kidding. I went to go through one of the aisles, and this one gentleman, he was like, hey, you go first, because at this point, there was 3 of us in this one aisle. And just so kind, so loving. And so in that aspect, people are really good out there. We really need to just be thankful for that. And it doesn't have to be hysteria everywhere. We can be kind to one another. There are going to be shipments of things. They're not saying we're not going to have food. So I just feel like my hopes are for all of us to stay kind and loving and help thy neighbor, because this will pass. And how did you treat your neighbor? You know what I mean? It's like those are people you're going to live next to, or you're going to be involved with for a long time, I just want to be remembered as that person that didn't panic and that was helpful and positive.
And I love what Shelley is saying about kindness. I think sometimes we don't link things, we don't make connections, but kindness really does help in uncertain times. I mean, because it's like, guess what? We're all going through this. Nobody at this point is exempt.
Yep.
Exactly.
Can't be too rich, too poor, too
No,
anything.
To anything. So let's, if we're just kind to each other and understanding that compassion, it's like, I know you're having a tough time because guess what? I'm having a tough time. So
And this
I love
is,
that.
can I just bring up that I think this is the time that we really need to think about sharing our resources. So like in the Mormon culture, we've been told and taught since zero that you have at least 2 weeks, if not 2 months worth of food storage at all times in your house. So every single Mormon out there is probably prepared. Or at least not like, what's happening? You know, I only have enough. So even though I'm not practicing, I still have those same like, okay, just be prepared, be prepared. And when I started seeing stuff come down the pipeline, I was like, I better be prepared.
Yeah.
But when my neighbor tells me he only has 4 rolls of toilet paper left, I'm not going to sit here and say, well, I have 20, so I'm not going to give him one because I have 8 butts to wipe in my house. No, I'm thinking I'm going to bring him over a couple rolls and hopefully that gets him to the next person who can be kind and generous or the store restocks or whatever. I just feel like over and over in my life, when I have had maybe a lot, maybe a little, but when I share what I have, whether it's just kindness or whether it's money or whether it's resources, the universe sees that and you are taken care of. And I know that might sound woo-woo or crazy to people, but I truly believe that if you have more than you need and you think, do I really have to have 500 pounds of rice in my garage when my neighbor has none? No. You know, this is the time when we get to really step up and show what kind of people we are.
Yeah.
And I think it's our elderly we need to worry about. I mean, because all of us, we're young enough that we can, when it's our turn or whatever it is, if they do a lockdown, we'll be able to get in and out of the house. But they are telling even people now that are of 70 and older to really stay in. And protect themselves. So now it's our time while we still can be around. Do you have an elderly person around you that you can help or offer, you know, can I go to the grocery store for you? Can I do whatever for you? Because how fearful would that be that if you're not prepared and you don't have anyone, there's lots of people, little elderly people that have no one.
My boyfriend and another gal that lives with us, my old nanny, both have compromised immune systems. And so I'm like, we have to be safer in our home. You know, we're not allowed to just be like, whatever. So we have to really be cautious and be prepared for whatever may come down the road.
Yeah. And I think it's showing kindness to yourself too. Like if you're feeling whatever you're feeling, let yourself have these feelings about it. I think if it's fear that's coming up, okay, you know, maybe ask more questions or do more research. Let yourself feel it. Let yourself, you know, whatever. But being kind, I love this idea of being kind because it definitely it helps in uncertain times. I know the other thing I was kind of thinking about in uncertain times is just allowing, if that's a weird thing to say, but I was at the studio the other day, and the gentleman running the soundboard is the coolest person on the planet. We've worked with him before. He's like a cool human being, but he was talking to me from like 12 feet away. He was like, "Hey, Tann, how's it going?" He was like, "Hey, how are you?" I was like, "Hey," you know. He's like, I'm just giving everybody space right now. I'm just giving everybody. And for me, I guess somebody could have judged that. Like, okay, that's excessive. That's extreme for you to be all the way over there talking to me.
Yeah.
But I had no feeling about it.
Just
it was
have
like,
respect for it. Did any of us really hug this morning? I don't.
No.
Before we got together, none of us said anything.
And we
always hug.
It's unspoken.
But it's really just out of respect. And you know what I mean? I love you guys. I missed that hug this morning. But you know what? In these uncertain times, it's just, we kind of all knew not to do that.
Everybody give space and let people do what they need to do. And it's allowing that. Like I went to see my cousin yesterday and we're very close. And, you know, she went to high five me and I said, yeah. And I fist bumped her. Like, it's like, yeah, I love her. But like right now, palm to palm, like for me is a tiny bit uncomfortable. So fist bumping makes more sense to me, or elbow bumping, you know, for me. And it's just, that's okay.
Can I tell one of my fears? It's not really a fear. I don't want to be fearful. So I've decided I'm not going to be in fear of what I don't know.
Okay.
But my daughter, Brooke, is very pregnant. She's pretty much 7 months now, 30 weeks almost.
Wow, getting close.
I know, getting close. And so I'm trying to, like, I even think to myself, should I go see her at all? You know what I'm saying? It's like I would never want to do anything that was harmful to her. So I had gotten to see her this last weekend, but I was thinking, wow, what if things get a little bit crazy? Could she have the baby at home? I mean, if you allow yourself, I didn't go to Crazy Town and I've let it go. And, for me, let go and let God. Whatever is going to be is going to be. I just have to trust the fact that she's going to be okay.
Yeah.
But it is fearful when you have a daughter that's going to be having a baby in May.
And to your point, like if you have elderly parents
and my mom is older,
or anyone else who could get sick, I mean, you just sent your mom back home.
I did. I sent her on a plane on February 25th, and she has an autoimmune condition.
There you
so
go.
It's like you do. You just have to be like, you just have to trust that these things will be. Now, I will tell you this. My cousin is she is the director of a labor and delivery unit at a hospital. And a good friend of mine just went into labor 2 days ago. There's a 2-person minimum in the hospital rooms now. So for delivery and for visitation, and I don't know how long that lasts, but I confirmed it with my cousin, and it's pretty much across the board. There's a 2-person limit. So if this goes on for a while, there may only get to be, her boyfriend, and then you, or one other person that's allowed to be in there during delivery and during visiting hours. And they're just trying to keep everybody safe.
That's the best
that makes
thing.
sense.
But it is just a little bit, I guess my point is I think part of this conversation is not only is it just for us to want to be there for other people, it's talking through our own feelings and being real about this. And so I have to say, I really just feel that everything in my heart, I feel like everything is going to be okay. No matter what, everything is going to be okay.
Yeah.
And if we just do the right things, make good choices, be clean, wash your hands, cough into your arm, just the simple things.
And like you're saying, not letting yourself get on that Crazy Town train and play out all of these what if fear scenarios, because that raises your stress levels in your body. Then that's going to interact with how you are with your loved ones in your life, and then how you are in the community if and when you do have to go out. And it just causes that ripple effect of fear and stress to other people. So if you can stay calm, if you can stay grounded, if you can be the level one and just trying to really stay in the present moment as much as possible, you'll help everyone in your circle of influence.
Yep. Yeah. I agree with that 100%.
So being kind, allowing people to, but I think that's more of acceptance. So being kind and being accepting. Eva, what's your kind of nugget for, for uneasy or what did Shelley say? Uncertain times.
Uncertain times. I mean, really, it's just not letting the stories play out in my mind. Because it's really easy for me to go to, I have a very, a mind that makes up stories all the time anyway. I'm a storyteller. I have stories in my mind. So it's very easy to go down 50 dark roads.
Yeah.
Oh, this could happen. This could happen. And then I want to be prepared for all of them. Like, you have no idea the stuff that I am prepared for. Like, what else do I need?
Yeah.
Because I just that makes me calm. I'm calm when I feel prepared.
Good.
So not only do I just want to be not crazy stocked, there's nowhere near crazy. I'm like, okay, we can last for like a month, and then we're going to be talking to neighbors and friends, and what can we share? What do I have more of that you don't, that you have more of that I don't? But see, I play all these scenarios out in my mind so I can have them end at like a happy place. Like, okay, if this happens, what are my steps, and how am I? And I try to make those kind decisions, and I try to think about, if I have to go down this road, what's it going to look like? If I have to quarantine one of my kiddos in their room, how do I make it fun for them if one of them gets sick so they don't get everyone else sick? So I start playing out all these things and coming up with happy endings, so that way I don't go to fear place, right? Like, I don't know. That's just how I have to.
My brain went somewhere else when you said happy endings. I'm sorry. Okay. But no, I think that's a good thing. I think that we do create our own narratives, and we can create the beginning, the middle, and the end. And sometimes our narratives are like, everything's pandemonium, and then catastrophic everything. The sky is falling. But then in a second, in like a millisecond, you can shift your narrative to be like, you know what? The sky isn't falling.
Yep.
You know what? Everything is okay in this present moment. Like, I don't know about a minute from now or an hour from now or a week from now, but in this present moment, I'm good. I'm good. And so you can just shift that. So yeah, I love that. I love the narrative.
Tann, let's a professional opinion.
Okay.
Or maybe not even opinion, just what do you say to your clients that are in, like, there are people out there that are literally scared to death, like on the crazy town, and no matter what we say right here and now of our experiences of find joy, be kind, they don't care. They are just fear-based. If I was that client, what would you tell me?
So I just did this with a client yesterday because I'm doing a lot of online stuff. And I said to the client, really simply, at this time, hold dear what is working well.
Say that again.
Dear
Yeah.
what is working well. Because at a time like this, it's super easy to hyper focus on the potential of what could not work well, or what is not working well, or what's happening with the coronavirus. But hold your focus on what is working well.
I love that.
Your family, right? If you're in touch with family, hold on to that. That's working well. You know, if you're getting up in the morning and your joints, they may be sore, but if they're functioning, hold on to that. So hold your focus on what is working well. That's what I told the client. And I try to keep it super simple, because in the trauma brain and in the like frantic brain, you need small nuggets. So just hold on to what's working well.
And you know what I just thought of? And this is an Eva thing. Breathe.
Yes.
Take an inhale when you really are at a panic state. I think if you just sit for a second and breathe in and an exhale,
I just
sometimes
saw,
just taking a minute.
Yeah.
Elizabeth
everything.
Gilbert, the author Elizabeth Gilbert, on Instagram this morning, she posted and said she has a friend who told her this 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 technique for staying in the present moment. So when you start to feel like yourself, you're kind of getting anxious, your brain's going to crazy town, you're making up all these crazy scenarios, you start focusing on the future. So there's each thing ties to a sense. So 5 is look around and find 5 things in the room and really just take them in. Like, why do they bring you joy? Why do you have it? What is it that's beautiful about them? Something good. The 4 is, let me think. So there's what you see. There's 4 things of what you smell. 3 things of what you, I should look this up before I even brought it up. But anyway, it goes down to each one to, like, 1 is what do you taste? And then there's 1 of what you see and smell and feel. Maybe it's 4 is touch, because it's easier to touch 4 things.
So like the 5 senses.
Yes. So you're basically tying the 5 senses to 5 different things, and just recognizing, what are you smelling? What are you tasting? What are you feeling? What's around you? And just to come into this moment right now, and then breathe, just taking some really deep breaths, really bringing it in, just helps to just go, okay, what can I control? What do I have control over, versus all these scenarios that I can't do anything about?
You can't do anything about it. And you know what's so funny? This is the most random thing ever that just popped into my mind. Worry is the GMO of our spiritual consciousness and our consciousness. It's the GMO of that. It's a preservative. It's not even real. So it's like, it doesn't evolve you in any way. It's not something that's a childlike. Children don't worry. They just know, I'm going to need food. It's going to show up.
Yep.
I'm going to cry. My mom's going to come in the room. I'm going to fall. Somebody's going to put some, Neosporin on my knee. So it's kind of like, you think about it, like, it really doesn't serve you. It's really quite unhealthy. And where does it even come from? It comes from someplace. I don't know if they produce it in some lab or what, but it's like, it really doesn't serve you. So if you kind of look at just being a naturalist in terms of your awareness in life, it's like, how do you stay in a place where I am going to be calm, whether it's breathing, right? Counting, whether it's moving, whether it's focusing on being well and what is working well. It's like, what can you generate from a natural place and a natural perspective that brings you back to that sense of, you know what? I don't know what's happening tomorrow, but right now it's all good.
What about 2? I just thought of something. What about 2 is just like, Eva, you have 6 kids, and you're going to be at home and all of that stuff, really trying to make a plan and involving everyone. Like if one person is feeling one way, like everybody step up for everybody in our families. Like let's say you're panicking at one moment, have your family members to really support that person, to help calm them down and show them that we're going to be okay. I think too, just rely on your family to not everybody go into crazy town. Everybody should just, because I think our minds can do crazy things to us. So maybe 1 minute you're feeling one way and an hour later you might be another. But if you have that person that stays calm and says, now you're doing it again here. Let's just
helping you be aware that you are
like, here we go.
Maybe kind of stepping into that
sit
crazy
and breathe
town
again,
train.
or do things to distract yourself, do a puzzle, play games. Like, let's take this time and do fun things.
Do you know, and that, I think that should be our next podcast. I think talking about the silver lining of all of this, because I'm really looking forward to actually having my kids home for a month. An entire month they are out of school, and I can't just have them sitting around playing video games for a month.
That is priceless. Like, you think about how we go, especially in California.
Yeah.
Our lives are like go. This is an opportunity. I'm glad we're going to be talking about silver linings, because this is an opportunity to just be still.
Oh my gosh.
I think that should be our next podcast for sure.
What a blessing. Hopefully we've really helped some people out there today.
I hope so.
Stay calm and to hold close to the people you love the most.
Be kind to yourself and to others.
Yep.
And we can prove to ourselves, to the community, to the governments of the world that we're good. We are evolved humans, and we don't need to go to crazy town.
Yep.
It's not necessary.
God bless everybody.
Stay set to love.
Wash your hands.
Wash your hands.
Love you.